Our next speaker is Architect Chief John Agmanda Bawa, PhD, Chair, Nigerian Institute of Architects Students Affairs Committee. Architect Chief John Bawa is the current chair of the Nigerian Institute of Architects NIA Students Affairs Committee 2023 to 2025. He has made significant contributions to the NIA as a member who have served in 8 national committees within the Institute, including serving as Secretary of the NIA International Affairs Committee as a member of the NIA Board of Architectural Education. Dr. Bawa has also held leadership positions within the NIA Niger State chapter, serving as both Assistant Secretary and General Secretary for 2 terms each. In addition to his roles within the NIA, Dr. Bauer represents the NIA on the Building Collapse Prevention Guild. As the National Publicity Secretary, he is also a member of the Green Building Council of Nigeria. Dr. Bauer operates an architecture and construction firm called Janda Designs and Global Concepts Limited, and serves as an architectural educator at Bayes University, Abuja. Without further ado, I yield the floor to you, Architect Bauer.
All right, thank you very much. While I thank you, the organizers, for this opportunity to be here and present with such amiable people I love passionately. All right, I have been asked to speak on innovative approach to sustainable architecture with emphasis on design, and the outline of my presentation includes this. I will talk a little about green building designs, adaptive reuse. I will talk about Afrocentric architecture too, even though when I saw Madly on this call, when I first saw the the flyers, and I knew she was speaking here too, I just knew I didn't have much right to speak so much about it, because I know she will do justice to it. However, I will touch a little on it because I have dived into it a little. Renewable energy tools, and I will also speak about the AI as a tool for design. So please permit my presentation to rather sound poetic as we journey through this realm of innovative, sustainable architecture with design as our pilot, where technology meets tradition, modernity dances with heritage, culture, and mankind marry us to part no more, and where design defines architecture and not the other way around. Architecture should not necessarily define the design, but the design should define architecture. And this is what we're here to talk about. Let's envision a future where our design not only stand as marvel of ingenuity, but also guidance of our environment, drawing strength from the wisdom of our forerunners. And gladly, the other speakers have mentioned a couple of them. I will highlight one or two of them too, but not do so much emphasis on that. So I had a slide that was defining sustainable architecture, but when I saw the justice that has been done on it, I deleted it so that I will save time and just talk about the essence of sustainable architecture. And I said here, picture a world where our creation breathes with life, where every building whisper tells of harmony with nature. Sustainable architecture is our pledge to this vision. It is the poetry of balance, where efficiency meets elegance and the conservation embraces creation. But how do we weave this tapestry of sustainability into our designs? A very serious question we must seek to answer at the end of this presentation. One, like other speakers have rightly said, let us adopt green building designs. Why? Imbibing and introducing materials that are contextual to us, that are primitively ours, and let's make a beauty out of them. I won't want to talk about materials. However, recycled materials can help us to reduce carbon footprint and promote circular economies. And Madam has talked about bamboo and other materials that have renewable contents and have low environmental impact with very excellent insulation property. And so we must seek to embrace them. Let us do our designs with passive solar ingredients so that we can utilize things like the orientation of the building, the sizes of our buildings, some of which we have copied, and we ought to be able to carry out studies, much study and analysis on what fits our contemporary climate. Like, for instance, you are just talking about just right now being very cold, whereas in some other clients, it is not that cold. So you cannot expect that the sizes of windows in Jos should be the same like a place in Mina or Gwagwalada. Let our designs have high performance insulation, advanced insulation techniques and materials to minimize energy losses. Very important for energy efficiency designs. What about water conservation? Where we'll harvest rainwater to be able to irrigate and use for non-potable uses. We can also harvest our gray water and recycle them. After treating them, we can recycle them and use for domestic purposes and even irrigation of our landscapes, flushing of toilets. Because unlike black water, which comes from toilet and contains significant contaminants, gray water contains fewer pathogens and can be reused for purposes such as irrigation, flushing, and landscape watering, especially after minimal treatment. When you wash, for instance, the detergent might contain some chemicals. So after minimal, maybe applying something like chlorine, these waters can be reused for some of these purposes, thereby conserving water and reducing the demand for water sources. Smart building designs. It is important that we imbibe smart building design. Some of this technology are not primarily ours, such as Internet of Things, where you integrate systems such as smart sensors. However, this technology has come to stay. And if you have to stay afloat, if you have to be competitive with the international community, obviously, you must embrace these smart building designs. And so they have a way of helping us to conserve energy, such as lighting, heating, even security, and even comfort. And this will equally help us to make decisions that are data-driven, and we will be able to analyze some of these future designs with empirical data that we are able to collect. What about adaptive reuse designs, where we transform old buildings, old parts, historic sites, and conserve them, thereby reducing wastages on our landscape, on our environment, especially things like demolition wastages that come with bringing down an old building. And who says we cannot conserve some of these? The slide I have right now is the High Line in New York City, where an old railway line was transformed into a park. But what is the case in Nigeria? We see a situation where our rail lines that have been abandoned, the iron are being stolen, and such places are deserted. So this brings about a lot of sustainable benefits, where we reduce the need for new materials, cut down on demolition waste, and preserve cultural heritage. Flexible designs or flexible spaces. Some call it modular designs, where we create spaces that can easily adapt to changing needs, such as movable walls and multifunctional furniture. And this example given here of a plug-in city in Paris is one such example. What about biophilic designs, where natural elements like architect Rhoda mentioned a while ago, biomimicry, um, can be adapted. And this Bosco Vertical in Milan, have this example for us to see and emulate, incorporating nature, light, plants, water, features to create a calming, a healthy environment. And this is a good definition of sustainability. Furthermore, on flexible cities, I have here the Amazon Sphere in Seattle that has been described as one of the most sustainable buildings in the world. Designing buildings with shape and pattern that is inspired by nature. And you have a lot of nature content, even in the indoor environment. Last year, I was privileged to be at the UIA convention in Copenhagen. Madam Madilitu was there, but I don't know if you also joined in this tour to Nature, Health, and Design Laboratory in the outskirts of Copenhagen. Now, the amazing thing for me about this laboratory or artificial botanical garden was the fact that in this garden, you will find spaces that were created that they have said over time, people can come not just to interface with nature or to relax, but they have attendant health benefits. For instance, you find people who will go there with migraine, with headache, with stomach pain, with frustration of a sort, and then you sit around some allotted spaces, and in matter of minutes and hours, you are healed. You are healed. And I got inspired, and I was wondering, what stops us from designing buildings that people can go in and then your headache vanishes? What stops us from designing or researching into the possibility of designing buildings where people can go with partial mental distortion, and in few days they come out healthy without any medicinal or medical attention? Who said it is not possible? And I think designs are only as possible as our thoughts can reach. So health and wellness designs are equally very, very important. And this has to be with improving our indoor air quality, using plant and advanced ventilation system to ensure clean air, which is very, very important, and enhance comfort, creating spaces that promote relaxation and reduce stress through natural aesthetics and acoustics. Very important. I won't spend so much time here talking about other forms of designs that you could just find in the covers of textbooks, like parametric designs, where you adopt the use of algorithm-driven designs with complex shapes. And this has been achieved in Dubai, where the building has a responsive facade that adjusts and adapts to the natural environment. And some of this will help to enhance our designs, create intrinsic and effective designs that will be difficult to achieve manually. But with the use of this algorithm, we are able to achieve some of these designs or some of these feats. Optimization design, where structural efficiency, reducing material usage while maintaining strength and stability is key and is very important. So taking advantage of shapes and forms, and more importantly, mimicking nature is very, very important. What about resilient architectural designs? And it just pained me while Madam Madili was doing her presentation that I should have added Adeyemi's Makoko design here, because it's a perfect example of a resilient architecture design. where he has a whole school in the center of water, and it is a floating building. Very, very good. However, in Tokyo, they have also designed a building that incorporates earthquake resistance technology. And so far, so good. It's been able to resist some earthquakes that have taken place in Tokyo in the recent time. It is also key and important that our buildings are cultural and socially integrating, where community-centric designs, inclusive spaces where they attract community. We do more of personalized private buildings these days. Our fences are getting higher by the day, and you find a person staying indoors. Now, for instance, I have been indoors all day working on this slide, and not even a person, not one person has even knocked on my gate. Can you imagine? This is the kind of society we are creating for ourselves. We are copying a lot of this Western jargon, and it is not primarily us. For us growing up back then, we were a community. We play, we interface with people. Our parents come out to call us, and they will have to go through a neighbor and all such things. If anything was wrong with you, if your parents are not able to dictate that, your neighbors, your friends, your friends' parents might notice it even before your parents, and they will help you sort it out. But today we are doing more of private designs. We need to rethink our designs. What about affordable housing designs, where there are so many examples that have adopted elemental or incremental. Um, in fact, it is also called growing and dying buildings, such that your designs are such, for instance, as a bachelor who seeks to build his own house, but yeah, he doesn't have all the resources, and he doesn't have the entire family for his dream 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, or 5-bedroom duplex. But he has money for a room and parlor. But yet he has a design that with time, as his family grows, his building enlarges, more rooms are added, and it is far much more effective and affordable. Permit me at this juncture to talk about Afrocentric architecture personally, because recently I did this design. It is Art and Craft Hub in Bola Ahmed Tinubu Airport in Mina, where I integrated local content. When the brief was handed over to me, I thought the need to do is something that is primarily ours, and every of the stakeholders that saw the work were thrilled that we could have our villages even at the airport, and I can't wait to have this building completed and get feedback from visitors. But this is one of my recent designs that is purely Afrocentric architecture, and this gives a better view of it, where we have the upper floor largely open for visitors to watch exhibitions and be able to enjoy the architecture. We have some of these interesting Nigerians too who have dived into doing what is primarily Nigerians. Kunle Adeyemi, that I mentioned a while ago, that designed the Makoko Floating School in Lagos, is the first picture, and Madam has talked so much about Demas, I will not need to talk about him. And Olajimoke, whom I was privileged to meet with in LAF, I think 2012 or 2021 or 2022, I'm not very sure now, but she's also doing amazingly well in her effort to weave her designs with cultural heritage. And she will be a nice person to also look at. While Madame was talking mainly about male architects that have done traditional things, I thought to also add a female so that we'll all know that ladies too are going into it. And why not? I see Rhoda too going into traditional architecture. It will fit her. Her dressing are usually local content. So add that to your design, architect Rhoda. Let me, in the next 5 minutes or less, talk about softwares and simulation tools that can aid our designs. These innovative strategies not only address current challenges, but also anticipate future needs, helping architects to create spaces that are sustainable, efficient, and aesthetically pleasing. BIM, Building Information Modeling, is not a new tool to many of us. A lot have continued to explore its competitive advantage, giving a symphony of design where every line and curve syncs to precision and possibilities. And Autodesk has been in the forefront of BIM. And for those that have not embraced it yet, it is not late. And for energy simulation tools, one such tool that is doing awesomely well is Energy Plus, where you are able to forecast how the building will react with nature even before the construction begins. You can get and download real-time weather data, especially through Ladybug, right? You can download real-time data of every city around the world. Ladybug seems to have for all the cities around the world. They have been doing over 40 years of research on cities. And so they have a relatively accurate data for these. Life cycle analysis of our designs are also very important to see how they can synergize with our natural environment. The scale of justice for our materials, environmental impact is very, very crucial as you achieve sustainability in your designs. Renewable energy tools. A lot of that now are very available. Some of them are free to use and readily available. And then lastly, for this presentation is the role of what has become an irresistible tool, which is the AI that can be used for generative designs, predictive analytics, automation in designs. And each and every one of these things are readily available right now. However, let us not allow that the AI tools should completely replace our intelligence, our know-how, our creativity and innovation. Even with the presence of the I personally believe that they are not anywhere near replacing the architects. And so let us continue to rise to the challenge. As we adopt them, as we use them, let us not mortgage our own personal creativity for some of these tools, but they are very important. They make your work faster and easier. Summarily, the innovative approaches in architecture with a particular focus on design are transforming how we think about and interact with our built environment. By embracing sustainability, technology, adaptability, biophilia, parametric design, resilience, and cultural innovation, particularly those of Afrocentric nature, we can create spaces that are not only functional and beautiful, but also responsive to the need of the people that we are designing for, that are using these spaces, the end users in particular, even beyond the clients, and nature. Very important. While I thank you for this privilege, in the words of Le Corbusier, architecture is the masterly, correct, and magnificent play of masses brought together in light. As we embrace modern software, AI tools, and Afrocentric designs, let us create a symphony of sustainability, a dance of innovation and tradition, a masterpiece of our time. Let us design not only structures, but stories, not only buildings, but legacies. Thank you for your time and for listening. God bless.